Welcome back to your personalized deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting piece from February 2026 by Mike Holden over at Thorn Technologies.
Yeah, it's all about deploying SFTP Gateway, but specifically as a Docker container.
Right. And the whole mission today is to explore why modern DevOps teams are like actively abandoning those traditional cloud virtual machines for this containerized enterprise file transfer approach.
Because for the longest time, right, the ultimate quick start for file transfer was just, spinning up a VM in a cloud marketplace like
Yeah.
AWS, Azure, Google
Oh,
Cloud.
yeah, you just click a few buttons and boom, your server's live.
Exactly. But that convenience actually creates this massive bottleneck for infrastructure teams now.
Well, it brings up that classic DevOps concept, right? Like
Yeah.
pets versus cattle.
Yes, exactly that.
Holden points out that traditional marketplace VMs, they basically force teams to treat their file transfer nodes like prized pets. You have to, manually patch them, monitor them, nurse them back to health if they crash.
While the rest of their tech stack, which is usually running on Kubernetes, is already operating like a highly efficient herd of cattle.
Or, to use another analogy, think about the difference between a custom-built luxury RV and like a fleet of standard shipping containers.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Right. The RV is great, but it's hard to maneuver. And if the engine dies, your whole operation just grinds to a halt.
Whereas shipping containers are totally standardized. You just stack them, move them, swap them out. The infrastructure doesn't actually care what's inside them.
And that friction is exactly why DevOps teams are demanding this change. They want to manage file transfers using infrastructure as code, just like the rest of their environment.
Right. By containerizing the SFTP gateway, they can actually version control their configurations. I mean, they're treating infrastructure exactly like software.
Which means they can deploy consistently anywhere, right? Without being forced to click through those clunky, vendor-specific web interfaces every single time they need to make a tweak. But wait, let me push back on this for a second. If you strip down a heavy-duty enterprise SFTP server just to fit it into a lightweight disposable container, aren't you, well, leaving the door open to new vulnerabilities?
It sounds like you would be, right?
Yeah. Like bypassing traditional operating system level security walls feels risky. Or at least like you'd have to sacrifice some core features.
Surprisingly, no. You actually maintain complete feature parity.
Wait, really? Complete parity?
Yeah, the cloud storage integrations, the audit logging, API access, it is all absolutely identical to the VM version. And the security is actually upgraded.
Upgraded how?
Because SFTP Gateway uses Docker-hardened images, and they run on a distroless runtime.
Okay, so distroless meaning what exactly?
It basically means it literally strips out all the underlying OS fluff. So the
Right.
shells, the package managers, the standard libraries, all that extra stuff.
The stuff a hacker usually tries to exploit.
Precisely. You are drastically minimizing the attack surface. The tools a bad actor would use to pivot around inside the system simply do not exist.
Wow. I mean, that makes total sense. You can't exploit a tool that isn't even there.
Right. And this results in near zero CVEs, common vulnerabilities and exposures. It even earns the container an ACE score from Docker Scout.
That's huge.
It is. And by breaking free of the VM, you gain true cloud independence. These containers can write directly to local persistent volumes.
So you aren't permanently tethered to a specific vendor's cloud ecosystem.
Exactly. You define your own storage drives securely, so you aren't locked into AWS or Azure. You can just run it seamlessly on premises if you want.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for your daily workflow?
Well, because the container relies on simple environment variable configurations, and it has these built-in health check endpoints, it's incredibly flexible.
So you could spin this up on your laptop using Docker Compose just as easily as you could orchestrate it across a massive multi-region Kubernetes deployment.
Yeah, it just bends to fit whatever environment you have. And you can actually test this exact workflow right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but the container is available to pull from Docker Hub. You just configure it through their web-based admin dashboard, which automatically gives you a 30-day free trial before you even need an annual license.
That's a great way to try it out. So wrapping this up, whether you use a simple setup or you're scaling globally, containerized SFTP really fits your environment.
It's definitely the way things are moving.
Which brings us right back to that RV versus the shipping containers. I mean, if essential, highly secure infrastructure like enterprise file transfer is becoming this modular, container native, and completely cloud independent,
Yeah.
what does that mean for the future of proprietary cloud marketplaces? Like, if everything shifts to these disposable, interchangeable blocks that you can run anywhere, Could those giant vendor-locked cloud ecosystems eventually become totally obsolete?
That is a big question.
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.